Look on a piano keyboard, down is in the left hand, you move this way and the vibrations get slower, lower, slower, right? You move this way on a piano, they get higher.
What does it sound like on the guitar?
The guitar is exactly the same way. You move to the left on the guitar, it gets lower. You move to the right, and the vibrations get higher, just like the piano. Unless you're a lefty. Jimi Hendrix, he was in some other zone. So. I don't think he was part of any scale. So he was a genius.
Part of what?
Yeah. Okay. Huh?
He's from Mars, wasn't he?
Yeah. So anyway, if you're going down this way, musicians say you're going like that. They put a little symbol, like it looks like a little B, kind of a triangle thing. That's flat. And if you do this kind of a sign, which I think it's called the pound key on my telephone, right? Then it's
Sharp.
the name for that is sharp. So then all we do is we just, if you're going this way, for example, this would be 1. This is sharp 1. Okay. If you're over here 2 and you're moving in this direction, note would be called flat 2. And musicians have certain conventions of naming because now things are getting a little complicated. And I'll teach you what that is so you're not too alarmed by it. But the first thing I want to do is just teach you by numbers. Okay? So, yeah, please.
Why is it that the standard major scale begins with C instead of A? You would think A would be the first, the letter you would assign to the first note in a series. Is there? And then A also.
Yeah, there's a reason. There's a reason for that.
A is also what the orchestra is tuned to. So I wondered if there's something significant about
Well, the history of Western music, in the way different cultures have evolved music in different ways, and I'll discuss that in a second. The different systems of naming notes, but in Western music, the white keys on the piano, it just was kind of an organic process. That's what people knew about. The white keys on the piano are essentially the major scale. Okay, one particular major scale, which is called the vibration of C, which has a certain frequency, probably about somewhere around 500 cycles per second or something like that. It's, not that important to know. It's just there. We've all, musicians, have agreed that that's what that is. The reason for A is there's something called a relative minor, which is it's like a train track. And hopefully we'll get to that. It's like a train track that goes down the track, and one side of that train track is the major scale, and there's this other train track that goes along, which has all the same notes, but it's called the minor scale. And so C major, the relative other track that goes parallel to C major is A minor. And that's why the piano starts with A, that has all the white keys, and there's an, the major scale starts on C, but the relative minor is A. And in my opinion, the piano, the way the piano evolved, I think it's totally cuckoo. If I was an instrument designer, I would redesign it differently, but we've inherited this instrument that's kind of a little bit lopsided towards one scale. So the guitar is incredibly symmetrically mathematical. All the stringed instruments are like that. They have little patterns and they just repeat in different places, but you have the same mathematical relationship. I'm going to lose you if I keep talking like that. Going in this direction, up the vibrations is sharp. Going down this way is flat. Okay, makes sense to everybody? So, and we have. Like if we were looking at a piano keyboard, let's see. Who here plays piano? People know, everybody know piano at all? Or?
Yeah, I know.
I've seen one.
You seen one? Oh, that's a wonder. Let's see, where am I? No, I didn't do this.
Yeah, it's good.
No, it isn't. It's not good at all. I do actually play piano, so a little bit. I use it for writing music. I'm not much of a virtuoso on it. There we go. Okay, so this is C, D, E, F, G, okay, so here is the major scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 set up on a piano. In the key, in C is our initial vibration. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And then these notes here are the black keys. So does that make sense? I really encourage a dialogue as I go along. Okay, so people can stop me and ask questions anytime. We're gonna go back here. Look at our major scale. Okay, there's our 8 notes in the major scale. Okay, in Indian music, this is what Shabda's doing. Okay, Indian musicians name these sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, mi, sa. Okay, make sense?
Same scale.
Yeah, it's just a different. Yeah, instead of using numbers, they have syllables. Okay, so sa re ga ma pa da ni sa ni da ma ma pa ni sa. Right? Now, the Italians in the Renaissance period did the same thing. They came up with syllables, and they came up with do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, you've heard that before. Okay. So now you have three different ways of naming a major scale: by number, by what's called sargam, or Indian vocal sounds, which I think are really beautiful on the tongue, and Italian, which is also a very beautiful language. So you can sing a scale, in any one of these three, a major scale, any one of these three numbers. Okay, going back here, and okay, this system is called a fixed do system. In other words, in this kind of music, which is what we do in this dances music for the most part. My friend Layla B actually changes keys quite a bit. But in general, in Sufi music and in Dance as a Universal Piece, you have a system called a fixed do. You pick one vibration, whatever that note is going to be, and then you go away from it and you always come back to it. Okay, that's called modal music. It's or a fixed do system.
Is it the same thing as a key?
A key, exactly. Except that we stay always in one key in Sufi music, and in Shabda, when he does his raga singing, will stay in one note will be the anchor, and then he's just singing in the overtones, of that scale. So I did say yesterday, in the West, the way the Western musicians, and the musical alchemists have heard these overtones, they've reduced the scale down to a 12-note system. Okay? Indian musicians hear more. They hear 18 notes or something like that. Plus, what you're hearing Shabda do when he's singing, is instead of going do re mi fa mi re do, he's going right? Indian music doesn't hit the note like bang 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 like that. You slide. So you might go do re mi re do, but you might go. So it's like in I don't know, for those of you who ever studied yoga, you're not like hitting point E, point C, point D in the posture. There's just this, pose kind of going, and then you just kind of move through that. That's what Indian music does. So in this system, okay, now I'm just talking about fixed system, and that's pretty much to orientate this class. In this system, so we have do. This would be do, re, mi, and this is all in the book. Fa, sol, la, ti, do. Okay. So that's where the solfeggios. It's called solfeggio. That's how it looks here on the chromatic scale. And then they do, instead of adding other syllables, they kind of do little vowel changes here.